Alright, sorry about that. Oh, Jesus. Sorry about the music, too. I didn't realize it was so loud. It went back to the auto volume. Got that fixed. So we are back in the game lobby here. We are about to load from where we were. Dog attack. I wish it was a dog attack. No, it was a stupid freaking... Yeah, it was, that crash was on my fault. It was a power surge, and I got a brand new power surge bar or power protector like last week, and it's too sensitive. I need to just order another one. Yeah, sorry about the holdup. We're back in business. We're good to go here. We're loading into the new game here, so we are about to see. But yeah, that is what that was all about. George says, I just tuned in and the Steam crashed. Yeah, it's all your fault, George. Had nothing to do with the power surge. How could you do that to us? Shouldn't be too long here. The game will be back in. As I said, they were kind enough to wait for us, so we are good to go to continue on. We're on turn 13 here, so we haven't missed much. So Jack got his first city down and is going for a holy site now, and he is working on a second settler in his capital of Watermelon Juicer, and Christian Sand is his first expansion. It looks like Japan has also expanded over here, and we have Sam is sticking with original name, so we have their expansion of Tokyo up here. Other than that, looks like those are the first two to actually settle so far. Tech-wise, so Russia opened up into astrology to get the religion fast, and now they've pivoted to sailing. And Japan, I think, went for the religion too at first. I guess we're gonna have to re-lobby here. So we will get another code and join another lobby here. Dystoria will hook us up with that. I guess there was an error when they set up the game. They loaded something improperly. I'm not sure what that was all about. You're as good to know as me. Cotton says, everyone crashed? No, not everyone crashed. Just me. I'm the only one that crashed. But this here, what it was is that they picked a wrong game setting or something. And so we will be getting another invite here. All right. Michael says, can anyone play? No, Michael, these are professional players. Like, they put me to shame, and I have like 1.4 thousand hours in this. This is an official game of the Civilization World Cup, so it's definitely a little bit different. But I will actually show, since we're waiting here anyway. Ella asks, is this on Twitch too? Yes, there are 4 different players who are streaming it, like their personal vantage points. You can find the links are in the description of the stream down below, or at least they were when I started it. With the reload, it might not be the same description, but you could find it there. Other than that, you can go to the CWC site. Okay, it's through his Discord. So I have to find Lej. He's live on Twitch, but I don't see... Oops. One moment here. Alright, so we're loading back into the game now. They got it all figured out. Bren says, how did it crash? It crashed because I just bought a new surge protector, and had to put it together last week or whatever, and it's very sensitive, and it's the second time that's done that now. It forced another crash. Like, if there's like a power surge, it just wipes everything down. So I need to actually try to play with the settings after today, and if I can't fix it, I'm just going to switch it, because right now I have the old surge protector that I've used for the longest time and never had any issues. It's just working for my lights, so I'm going to switch them so my old surge protector has all the equipment plugged into it, and the new one is literally just my light. So I mean, if the lights fucking go out for a second, we can deal with that a lot easier than the game crashing and the stream crashing. But we are back in it now, for better or worse. So here we go. We are on turn 14, not turn 13. And Jack's got a turn left on that. Remember, everybody, remember to ping me and ask if you want me to look into certain things and check certain stats. I'm happy to do so. More than happy, in fact. And again, feel free to ask about anything you want, and we'll do our best. So it looks like... So Gandhi's about to take his next city over here. Definitely a nice little start location for him. He's got a reef over there, but won't be able to use it whatsoever. He does have a reef on the coast here, though, but unfortunately he's got iron underneath it. So if he goes for bronze working before he ends up getting his campuses down, he won't be able to take advantage of that there. He'll just have the one tile that will take advantage of the extra science, if that's the route he goes. Other than that, though, he's working on celestial navigation at the moment. Jack's working on sailing over there. Lej has animal husbandry up, and we got bronze working from MGK. And then Rage and Sam are both working on celestial. Meanwhile, Falcon's catching up on sailing. Remember, he opened up with the religion, so he's a little bit behind there. And then Persia is working with bronze working at the moment. +8 harbor at Watermelon. Three. Okay, so I see 3 and 2 from the city. I see 5. What about it? Where would the other 3 come from? Ale. or it like does he have specific abilities? Because like 1, 2, 3, and then the 2 adjacency from the capital would be 5. I mean, he does have his holy sites under construction here, but there's only ever going to be 2 districts adjacent to it. So I see 6, right? 3 from the tiles, 2 from the city is 5, and then another one for +6 from the districts. Or am I just missing something entirely, which it could very well be the case. F's out of here says, anyway, enjoy the game, guys. I'll catch up in the morning. It's 1:12 a.m. in Bangkok. No problem, F. Thank you for popping in and hanging out with us. So Jack has finished his second settler and is moving over yonder to go take a look at those diamonds and such, it looks like. And a holy site. I'm probably focusing on him a little too much, so let's take a look around. India is, or not India. I just keep thinking that he's playing as that. We got Gondastoria because he normally plays India, as Indonesia is getting his second city down here any minute, working on that settler. And then over here, Japan has got a monument coming out in Tokyo and their second settler out of the capital as well. And they're all kind of scouting around out and about as well. Jack the Ripper's warrior is injured. I didn't see what he got into, whether it was barbarians or whatnot. Then let's pop over and take a look how Rome's doing now. So Rome has a builder coming out next. They have 2 scouts that are poking around here and are about to settle their second city. Hey, Not Cajun, thanks for subscribing, man. I appreciate the support. All right, so yeah, they're about to drop their second city and have a builder come out. So far, they're a little bit slower opening than the other ones that we've taken a look at. And then meanwhile, let's pop up here and look how Falcon is doing with the Russia. Again, he opened up religion first. You can see he's got his lavras. Well, sorry, his lavra is done here and he's working on holy site prayers. He definitely wants the first great prophet. He already went with the Dance of the Aurora Pantheon, we know that much. So let's pop over here and check up on good old US of A, or Murica, as I like to refer to them. In a friendly way, of course. Please don't kill me. Anyway, so they have a monument coming up in Charleston next. They're working on their second settler in the capital. It looks like they already grabbed a builder, or they got it in a goodie hut. I didn't quite catch that. And meanwhile, he's teching towards bronze working as well. So it looks like he is going to be going for a more aggressive opening. Meanwhile, Rage here, who again is the Mari, has decided to pop on over. He did settle on that island we first talked about when we got going, and he got his capital going there. I'm not even going to try that, but there's his capital. And now he looks to pop over and come hang out with his fellow teammate Persia here, and is going to be taking advantage of the beautiful tiles of Mount Kilimanjaro. So that should be nice. I'm assuming that he's probably going to move up here a little bit and split it with Persia, but again, at this point, it's anybody's guess what they are thinking, because remember, they're all talking, they all see the same stuff, and they're all communicating that we don't have access to publicly, right? Which is the way it should be. So we kind of gotta speculate as best as we can. Meanwhile, Persia's about to pop out their second settler. They have a builder. Again, I didn't see whether they actually produced it or got it from a goodie hut. And then their second city is working on a monument as well, so that is good to know. And Coupe is working on a monument in there. And remember, if you want me to look at any specific civilization, any of their abilities and whatnot, feel free to ask again, and I'm happy to do it. And yeah, okay, Ale says, yeah, my bad. Yeah, no worries. Well, +6 harbor is still fucking great, man, so don't feel too bad. Richie says, dang, feels like we always get a crash. Yeah, man, it's my fault. It's that stupid fucking power bar that I just bought. And after this stream, like, clearly I can't do it, like, in the middle of it here. But as soon as I'm done with this stream tonight, I'm going to be fixing that and just have the new power bar used for my lights. Because, like, basically the only reason I got that power bar in the first place was because my light system here is, like, the the cords were all like hanging above the ground, and I would trip over them. I crashed my light into my freaking big screen TV, into my freaking nice monitor. Like the dogs tripped and crashed it too, so that's why I got the power bar. But like I tried to buy a super expensive one that was supposed to be like good because I'm like, well, I got a like $5,000 computer and $1,000 TV and $1,000 monitor plugged into it. I should probably protect it, but it's too finicky, and I'm just going to go back to the first power bar that I've used for like 10 years because it's never let me down prior to this one. So oh, there we go. There is another wonder in the game. So that's 3 so far. We have the Fountain of Youth down here, I believe. Yeah, we got the Fountain of Youth. Then we have the Giant's Causeway, wherever I just saw that. Oh god, somewhere. And then Mount Kilimanjaro as well. That's so as much as I've seen. The Deer Tile of Coupe, Miguel. Oh yeah, you can see the production boost there because of Coupe's inherent natural bonuses, right? I believe that's why it's so powerful. Meanwhile, Coupe's got another settler in the waters as well.
Legendary.
Hey Ryan, thanks for subscribing, man. I'm glad you're enjoying this and happy you found the channel over here. So there you go. I guess they've discussed it, and Coupe is just like, fuck you, I'm taking it. So here we go. He is getting all of the Kilimanjaro tiles to himself. I'm sure, obviously, they worked that out between the two of them and just felt that that was best. And so the two of them are going to have the advantage against the American because he's being played by MJK. He's kind of alone by himself over here. Meanwhile, Rage and Ben, I believe, is it? Yeah, the biggest Ben. So Rage and Ben are going to kind of double team him, I would imagine. So there should be some action heating up here quickly. They have seen each other. Like Persia is aware that he's over here now. So he's definitely going to have to be careful with his settler here and drop that soon, and or like protect it with his scout. Meanwhile, Jack is continuing to thrive here. He's one turn away from having 2 longboats out. So that is pretty epic if you ask me. Let's quickly take a look and see as far as Pantheons go in case we missed any that popped up. I like the naming of that. But yeah, so he's 5 turns out from his holy site, and good luck, have fun. I love his creativity of these city names. I don't think they're gonna pick me. So then again, so Jack is with Indonesia, Rome, and America. So we got Rome. Rome is here, and Indonesia is here. So, I mean, Rome can get involved and come over, but with the mountain range there, until they get the mountain tunnels and or the ability to head over there, his impact will be kind of limited. I guess I made the right call. You can see that MJK has his settler defended by his scout now, and he'll be dropping that city pretty quickly. Oh, sorry, I missed that. Des setup. Can you check the continent split for America? For sure. And the wonder is next to America. All right, so here is the continent split. But in case you don't know, in this mod that we are using, so Rough Rider Teddy gets +5 combat strength on his own continent. All right, while he also gets +5 combat strength on their continent. It's a tweak in the mod. But it's only when he's attacking on their continent, so he doesn't get that if he's defending. But that will definitely play a very big role. And then there's a wonder next to America. Did I miss it? Or are you talking about Kilimanjaro? Or were you just talking about the Giant's Causeway? So it looks like Coupe is going to make another island city over here. And he's got a harbor coming up in the city he just founded next to Kilimanjaro. And he's working on his own galley there. Meanwhile, so Indonesia has a galley out already. Remember, she has a unique frigate that she can purchase with faith as well. That's why I'm a little bit surprised she didn't open up for a religion. unless it's changed with this mod type. I'm not 100% sure. Meanwhile, let's take a look at their yields quickly here. So you can see Jack is leading the pack with 9 science per turn, but it is fairly balanced. Otherwise, we got MJK with 7, Gondistoria with 6, and Lej with 5. And then on the other team, we got all 3 of Ben, Falcon, and Rage are tied at 6, with Sam shortly trailing behind there with 5. And meanwhile, culture-wise, again, we have Ulysses taking control with 8, 7, 5, and 4 respectively, compared to 6, 4, 2, and 3. It's inside the mountain range. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. There is the other thing. So the good news is, if they do find this and settle near it, as long as you own a part of this, you get like Great General and Great Merchant points. But I don't think, unless they happen to drop a city like somewhere in here or like in there, I don't think they'll ever be able to see it, because if they're just moving by with a scout, I don't think they see past the mountain range into the middle. But yeah, that's definitely an interesting spawn there for sure. Yeah, I totally missed that, guys. Thank you for the heads up. It's definitely buried, but again, so like, this is definitely a nice settle location with some good opportunities for campuses or holy sites and whatnot. So there is a chance that Teddy over here just happens to settle on one of these tiles and discovers that, like, innocently kind of thing, or unintentionally, however you want to say it. So that should definitely be interesting to see how that goes. Hopefully that'll work out for him and we'll get to see that happen. Other than that, you can see Russia's just poking about, obviously spreading out to take as much tundra as he can possibly gobble up with his greedy little hands. He's got 2 more turns on his next settler. He founded the religion of Islam, so that's an interesting choice for Russia. Let's take a look here and see what he's got going on. So he went with the Feed the World promotion for +3 food and +1 housing each. And then also chose Pagoda for +3 faith and +1 diplomatic favor per turn. So that's a very interesting combination. We'll have to see how it plays out. Maybe they have a diplomatic victory in mind, because again, in this, it's not like single player where you trade your diplo favor for gold, right? Pagodas are awesome in single player for that. It's actually multiplayer, so it's going to be interesting to see how much of a role that plays in the game as it unfolds before us here. Meanwhile, Coupe's got another settler on the way, so I guess he finished his harbor here. Yeah, it's completed. And him and Persia, who again is controlled by, I'm going to try and remember their names as we get deeper into the game here, but Persia is being controlled by Ben. So him and Ben are splitting up the continent here, and hopefully, I guess they're trying to cut off America and force him to expand up to the north. But I mean, even if that were to happen, right? Like, America, well, I guess they're all sandwiching him, come to think of it, because Russia's also on the other team controlled by Falcon. So, I mean, MGK is kind of in a tight spot here as the 2 of them close in on him from the south. And then up here to the north, Russia's expanding towards him too. I would assume he's probably going to build cities up in here and here to kind of have a choke set up. And then, I mean, if MGK can't get some help from his buddies, he might not be long for this world. But again, like, it's anybody's guess at this point. These players are very good and work together in it as a team, as you can see them doing already. So I'm not going to try and forecast or predict anything at this point, because if I screwed up my predictions so bad in my community multiplayer game, I'm not even gonna waste my breath on trying to give predictions for how this game is going to end up. We're just going to have to find that ourselves. Miguel says, Teddy can rush Machu Picchu. Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. Machu Picchu is a little bit different in this game, but he would have to set up his districts differently. He already got bronze working. If we go back to the text, I'm pretty sure he finished that fairly early. He's working on horseback riding already. So, yeah, unfortunately, this tile is a no-go for him, I would assume. You can see that Falcon poked in here, I guess, and pillaged his quarry. So I'm sure he's not too happy about that. That builder's going to have to go repair that and get it back online. Meanwhile, he's got an encampment up and running, working on an archer in his 3rd city. or actually, sorry, in his second city. And meanwhile, New York, which he just settled, he's got a monument that he's opening up with. And then let's take a look and see if everybody has their Pantheon choices down. So Washington went with Lady of the Reed and Marshes. And then over here, we got fertility rights from Ben. And then meanwhile, Rage decided to go with the city patron goddess. Ricardo says, I've been on the Crash live stream, laugh out loud. Oh, sorry, man. So sorry. Yeah, with the way Streamlabs, which is the software that I use stream with, for some stupid reason, I can't jump back into a stream I already created. I have to create a new one, which is unfortunate because I'm pretty sure at this point, there's no thumbnail up on this. There's none of that kind of stuff. So yeah. It's a little bit unfortunate. Actually, I'll try to fix that on my second screen and kind of do two things at once. So forgive me if I'm not really interacting the most with the chat for the next minute or two here. I'll try and take care of it on my end while we still cover the game here and kind of do two things at once. But meanwhile, I am going to have a quick smoke, so I'm going to take off my view screen here. Oh, I didn't even do it. I clicked the wrong thing. All right, so as far as civics go, most of them are working towards state workforce or early empire, so they're all kind of fairly close to each other. Some are a little bit ahead of others, obviously, as again, they are slowly catching up though. Jack, yeah, culture-wise, everybody except for Falcon is pretty close. I guess he's definitely hasn't been prioritizing getting those monuments out as quickly. Plus, he only has 2 cities at the moment since he focused on his religion, understandably so. Oh, you'll have to forgive me for that. There's a plane going overhead. It will quiet down in just a minute. Alright, so we got a harbor coming up in Coupe's new city there. He's got harbor shipping running in his capital. So I'm assuming he's funneling gold to people, would be my guess, unless he's looking for a great admiral. Speaking of that, let's take a look at the great people and see what's going on here. So we got Norway is about to get a religion next turn, it looks like. Russia's already earned theirs, obviously, so they don't count. And then nobody else is going for one at this point. So Jack will be picking his religion next turn or the turn after, because with only 4 great prophet points earned this turn, that I don't think he's running Holy Site prayers at all. The first great engineer is Isidore for the production boost towards Wonder. We'll have to see if people start chipping away at him sooner or later. Meanwhile, the Admiral here, which is, I guess, why Maori is running the harbor shipping things, is +5 combat strength and +1 movement for classical and medieval era naval units. So that will be a good thing. Not to mention forming a fleet out of a military naval unit in itself is a very powerful ability. And then meanwhile, Persia's leading the charge here. You can see they just finished, I guess they must have been running encampment training projects, and they just secured themselves the first great general. And they're poking about with him to scout. And Ben also got Sun Tzu, and Jack the Ripper got Confucius. So we'll have to see what religion he founds and what beliefs he goes for. Alright, so meanwhile, We got a lighthouse coming in watermelon juice maker. I'm sorry, I love his names. I hope Jack continues to expand and continues to conquer people, because I'm looking forward to seeing what else he's got going. He's got a shrine coming up in Good Luck Have Fun, and I don't think they're going to pick me, is working on a monument over there. Meanwhile, Indonesia has a harbor coming up in Jambi, a galley coming out in the capital, and 6 turns away from a harbor in Gondostoria's 3rd city. Meanwhile, they are already chipping away at Muscat here, looking to get a free city, so rip that city-state. However, they did just get their own ship out. They have another galley to defend themselves, but I really don't think without city walls that it's going to be much of a competition. I assume this is going to be the 4th city for Indonesia and Gondostoria. Meanwhile, Tokyo's got 2 turns on a harbor, 5 turns on their lighthouse, and 7 turns on the lighthouse in their 3rd city down here to the south. Let's pop over and check on Rome, because we haven't really looked at him much. He's got a settler coming out of Ravenna. His scout here. So again, Rome is on opposite teams to Falcon, so Falcon blocked him off with his scouts here. So they both have their individual mountain passes like blocked off from each other for the time being anyway, until more serious units get over there and can kind of interrupt that. So they have that settler coming out. Meanwhile, a government plaza is coming out in Rome, and they have a 3rd settler that is already out and working its way to another location. Meanwhile, down here, they found Valletta. Jack has already freaking conquered Granada. I didn't catch that. So he's definitely taking advantage of his beautiful Viking longships and putting them to work for him. And he's got 4 turns left on the monument there. Meanwhile, Ben here is 5 turns away from political philosophy. Jack is 2 turns. Gondostoria is 2 turns. And Ledge is 6 turns there, and meanwhile 3 and 5 for Sam and Rage respectively. Meanwhile, Falcon is trailing way behind with that low culture output we talked about earlier. Just because he prioritized his religion, it's going to take him a bit for his culture game to get rolling. But I mean, considering he is Russia, that's obviously not going to be a problem that he's having for very long. Speaking of that, he's got 7 turns on his Lavra, 1 turn on another settler coming out of here, and 3 turns out on Falcon. So they, oh, beautiful. I forgot about this from just off the top of my head. So some of them go out of their way to rename their capital cities as their team names, so that it's easier for us to keep track of who's playing the different teams when we look through their territories and whatnot. So far, Candy's okay. Auckland is definitely okay. It's a good thing they're not on the coast. Otherwise, it would be a very tough time to defend them. Meanwhile, let's take a look through the suzerains here, and so far nobody has suzerained anybody as of this moment. Meanwhile, who else have I forgotten about? We looked through Japan, right? Lighthouses and harbors. We looked through Kupe, we looked through Indonesia, we looked through Jack cities here, we looked through Rome. Let's see what Teddy's got going on. So he's got a builder coming out here, another builder coming out in Charleston, and he secured himself Hannibal Barca as well for the early game festivities, which clearly looks like they're about to get underway. To be honest, this is real brave in my opinion, but again, I don't know much about multiplayer, but the fact that he's pushing against 2 opponents with literally hit the warrior he started with and 3 archers and a slinger, which I'm assuming he's going to have gold funneled from his allies, is quite interesting to me to see how this is going to play out. Again, I'm not going to try and forecast anything. I don't have a lot of multiplayer experience, and so we're going to kind of have to see how this goes. And again, I apologize that I am not interacting with chat. It's still going to be another minute or 2. I'm trying to keep up with the game and at the same time fix the stream. So it's a little bit of a pain in the ass here. Just give me another minute or 2 and I should be able to have everything taken care of and be back up to normal. Okay, so I need to go into the details of that one and then go into the details of the old one. right, forgive me. I'm just going to take like literally 2 seconds here. I'll leave it right here so that we can see what happens, but I'm going to just focus over here quickly to fix the videos and or fix the different streams and get the right titles and the right descriptions and all that fun stuff in to the new stream here as quickly as I can, and that way we can get back to the action and hopefully forget this dumpster fire crash ever happened and move onward and forward with our lives. All right, so they're definitely funneling Teddy Horseman. He's cranking them out on his own as well, but it looks like he's got financial support, financial aid, let's call it even, from his co-teams here. So he does definitely have a chance of taking Sparta for sure, I think. I think I'm pretty comfortable saying that much between his archers and the horsemen that are going to be following suit. Ben has an immortal there already. He's looking to get another settler out. Well, he has it out, but he's looking to get another city down here fairly quickly. And meanwhile, you know what? Coupe doesn't have a lot of troops here either. So, you know what? Maybe this push is going to be a little bit more successful than I had originally thought. But time will tell. Because again, remember that the other teammates too can funnel here, so that like Falcon and Sam can help out Ben and Rage as far as money goes and stuff to help them purchase units. Sam founded a new city named Yerevan. Alright, so it looks like Japan just took out Yerevan over here, as you can see. So that is good to see. We got a lighthouse coming in Coupe. He's working on a galley there. He's got a couple galleys out, and he's chipping away at Brussels too. And he also has Armagh to choose from here as well. So now let's take a quick look. I got the stream figured out. I am pretty sure I just finished it all. Knock on wood. So that's me knocking on my head. So obviously you didn't see that. So let's go ahead and I'm done that smoke. So I'll get my actual face back on here. And we'll continue going from there. All right. Alright, so I will try to catch up with chat and see what all I missed. Can you put on Norway? He is taking a city-state. Grenada. Okay, so I'm assuming that was from long ago and I missed it. Grampz lives at the airport, confirmed, Normulator says. Des says 1 tile choke north of Rome. There is nothing he can do. Yeah, what I meant by like what Rome could do to help out, I meant by coming through the water over here, like, and getting ships out, and then also getting shipbuilding as well, so that he can get some troops over there. And that's what I was referring to, not so much like coming through the pass, as I mentioned that both of them have the pass is completely guarded. Like Falcon's got his 2 tiles converted, and then so does So does Ledge as well, so that is definitely not an option. Meanwhile, Mohendaro is over here. I am not sure if they've actually seen them as of yet. But you can see Indonesia is just going crazy with the settlers. She's already got one heading out right now, working on another one that's coming out in 4 turns, working on 2 more actually, both in 4 turns. So she's going to be gobbling up all the land very quickly to add to her empire after she took Muskrat over there. And again, Japan is not on the same team as Indonesia, nor Jack the Ripper. So now you can see Jack has identified where he is and is on his way over. So I would expect that both Gondastoria and Jack are going to start smashing away and working on... Oh, I didn't notice that was a Gondastoria warrior. Yeah, so they are already chipping away at and working on Tokyo. And meanwhile, they're still producing a lighthouse. I'm not sure if this has an updated or something, because I would just assume that they would have more troops coming, because he's still working on a lighthouse over here as well. Meanwhile, he does have a horseman coming out, so it's kind of going to be a rush to see whether they can take the city before the horsemen can get there to save the day. My guess would be that they're going to take the city and burn it to the ground in order to cripple Sam. But again, I'm not sure with this whole multiplayer stuff, so we'll see how it goes. Considering that Indonesia is so close, maybe they do take it and they think they can keep it between the 2 of them. But meanwhile, let's check on Jack over here and see what he's going on. So after finishing that settler, they're starting on a builder there. Or no, sorry, they were building something else. I forget what they were working on in that city. But Jack's got a builder coming out, and good luck, have fun. He already has one out and has been doing some tile improvement, as you can see. He's got a trader coming out from Watermelon Juice Maker with some builders already putting in some work for him here, and I don't think they're going to pick me. Has a builder coming out in 1 turn. And meanwhile, Granada here has just made a settler, it looks like, and is now transitioning to a holy site. So that is fun. Meanwhile, Rome, so that's Ledge, ended up taking over Valletta, and now Jack has helped him take it, it looks like. I assume that Jack basically did a bunch of damage with his longship, and then he let Ledge take it for the expansion, and then he's poking about with his other Viking longships over here and heading up this way. As far as coastal cities, I guess he could work on Hattusa, but with the Archer, I don't know how well the longship will survive. Oh, sorry, I would... Anonymous says, I'm pretty sure the city is supposed to say, I don't think they're going to pick Persia. Oh, probably, and just ran... Oh, it was a PE. Yeah. PE. Sorry, I when I looked at it, I've said it. I don't think they're going to pick me over and over, because for some reason I just registered as an ME. But yeah, that's a good call. I don't think they're going to pick Persia. That's probably exactly what it is intended. Oak says, yeah, wow, how unfortunate that wonder is hidden in the mountain range. Oh yeah, exactly, that it's hidden up here. We found that out earlier. So unless Washington, or Falcon for that matter, ends up settling a city, like basically anywhere right in here, when the city expands, they can take the tiles, but they won't be able to see it, as far as I'm aware, and know that it's actually there like we do, because we obviously have God mode. But yeah, so Auckland looks like they're getting taken out as well, so MJK is making the grab for that. And yeah, let's get an eye out here. So you can see they're definitely funneling Ben. There you go. I got it right. I just was double checking. They're definitely funding Ben some cash so he can get his defenses up here against what looks like to be a pretty decent army that MGK is putting together. And he's got a nice line going on with his great general there to boost them as well. Meanwhile, Persia does have their own great general, though, so that is something to keep in mind. And Persia has a settler coming out, the one that it was over here at some point. He shifted direction, and I'm assuming it's probably going to go settle over here around the spice tiles and volcanoes, and probably stay on this side of the river would be my guess, just to make defending it a little bit easier. So grassland hills, I don't know if he'll settle immediately next to the volcano to avoid tile damage. It looks like not. I'm assuming he's going to make the move for this plains hills right here, which will have the river defense, as well as starting with a 2-2 base. So that will be a nice choice for him, and he's kind of got his defenses up there. As far as yields go, let's take a quick look at that. So culture wise, Jesus Christ, sorry if anybody's religious, but Jack is running away in the culture game. He's pumping out 35 culture a turn, followed by Lej with 19 and 13 each respectively for MGK and Gondastoria. And meanwhile, on the other side of the equation, they are definitely not in the same ballpark culture-wise. We got Sam leading the charge on PPP with 17, 14 with Ben, and then 11 and 8 with Rage and Falcon respectively. Meanwhile, it looks like they are pushing in here a little bit. Whether that horseman stays or backs up. It looks like maybe he's just fishing for promotions at this point. That could be what he's doing, because obviously he's not going to move in too far, I don't think, over here. Miguel says rip Valletta. Oh, did I miss another city-state going? Jerusalem. Yerevan's gone. Valletta. Armagh. Yeah, I didn't catch who killed it, so I'm not sure where it was. There we go. Rip Valletta. Oh yeah, that was the one I talked about. That I think Jack helped Lej take it. So yeah, Rip Valletta is right. And Cotton says you can focus on the game. Chat will take care of itself. Oh, the Plains Hills are too close to settle, Nelson says. Good call. I didn't see it. Yeah, that's 3 tiles away. So I would personally, like, if you're going to have to settle the volcano anyways, I'm assuming he doesn't want to cross the river for defensive reasons, but I would personally settle, I guess I'd settle the freaking spices since you don't lose a tile anyway. But the better defensive move is to take the plains tile here so that you have the hill that you can mine and get more production out of. But I mean, it is nice to be 2 tiles away from the volcano too as far as damage goes, since it is already active. So we'll have to see how we are going. Leading in stats while attacking, they definitely outclassing them. Nayu says, yeah, I definitely agree on that. It looks like, so right now this is Team Ulysses is team number 1 here. That's the French team, and PP Patrol is the team that they're against, is team number 2. All right, so he did choose to settle on the hill. My guess, the logic behind that would be the defensive bonus, and then also not being immediately adjacent to the volcano there as well. So he's starting out with a monument here, working on ancient walls in Sparta, so that's coming along nicely. Meanwhile, Rage has got a lighthouse coming in 3 turns in, again, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. For any of you who don't follow me, pronunciation is my kryptonite, so I'm not even going to bother putting myself through that today. We'll just say that city, and that's how we're going to refer to it from here on out. But yeah, so Persia's shifting its focus. Now that they're feeling a lot more comfortable with their ancient walls coming out here in Sparta, they're shifting focus to come over here and help give Rage a hand in defending his city, as he's obviously not quite as prepared militarily as Persia is at this point, again, who is being controlled by Ben. All right, so meanwhile, though, MGK has been working away at Auckland, and it looks like they're not long for this world. He has plenty of farms over here to pillage to get the health back on his horses, so I'm assuming that Auckland will probably fall in the next turn or two. We are heading into turn 38 at the moment. As far as the era goes, we're in the classical era already, and I missed that, so let's take a look and see what dedications everybody chose. So we got Jack on Astoria. Actually, everybody's in the Golden Age. So Jack decided to go with the Monumentality Golden Age, allowing him to buy builders and that with faith. Meanwhile, Gondastoria went for the free inquiry golden age, and this is because she has so many of those campuses out, so it's going to be a huge boost to her science. And then meanwhile, Lej, on the other hand, went with free inquiry as well, and Teddy decided to go for culture and rip Auckland, everybody. Let's hear it for their effort in the game. You can see he's 2 turns away from repairing that monument, so the culture there will start expanding the borders and helping him out at the moment. I'm still surprised that he's really pushing this, to be honest, but again, I don't know what I'm talking about as far as multiplayer, so I'm going to assume that, like, there's a method to the madness sort of thing. As I said, maybe Rome is going to be working on shipbuilding and coming to help him out fairly soon. But meanwhile, he's also back settled in here and has Los Angeles going. He's working on harbors in all of his cities, well, all of his coastal ones rather. 6 turns and 12 turns respectively for New York and Los Angeles. Hey, Chris, thanks for subscribing, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Meanwhile, this is a beautiful position of his encampment, though, too. I didn't comment on that earlier. It's nice to cover both Washington and New York from any advancing armies coming from the southeast. Meanwhile, Charleston's got a turn for their horsemen. The Warlord's throne is 4 turns away in Washington, and we already talked about New York and Los Angeles. So let's poke down. We know that they're working on a monument in their new city, which we saw earlier, the 2 turns until that. All this stuff we already talked about. They got a builder coming out over here, a lighthouse in that city, and also going for Warlord's throne, and also 1 turn away is Ben over here, so he is humming along in his respective field. So again, culture-wise, Ulysses is just controlling it, with Jack being able to basically sim up as much as he wants at this point. He's already got 14 culture and 15 science. Meanwhile, Gondastoria is at 33 science and 15 culture, and 25 science and 22 culture, and then 19 and 21 for MGK over here. So Coupe's science is catching up, because he's obviously in the free inquiry golden age as well, so he's really taking advantage of his harbors, and that's why he's continuing to build more of them. Meanwhile, Sam's at 21 science and 19 culture. Falcon is so Chris, thanks for the super chat, and he says anytime we can get Matthias DD games soon, I will add it to the list, but unfortunately there are quite a few ahead of you. So perfect segue though, for those of you who are new here and don't know what I'm all about, we have the YouTube channel that we're obviously watching this on right now, that's all focused about helping people get better and whatnot. But I also just recently started streaming on Twitch TV 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, normally from 4 to 8 p.m. Eastern, unless something comes up like it did today. Hence, here we are right now watching this, so I won't be streaming later. However, between the YouTube channel and the Twitch channel, I have a bunch of different series going on. We got a Gaul series going on over on Twitch. We also have, at the same time on Twitch, we have a series with Molly where we're doing a diplomatic victory, and that one got put on pause because the new civilizations came out. So here we are working on Byzantium. We have 2 different ones, one we're doing live and one I'm recording off screen. But the next ones up that we have to go are, there's going to be a game with with Bull Moose Teddy is going to be the next series that I do. But and then after that, I have one with the Scythians planned, and then the third one after that is going to be one that was requested yesterday. Oh no, not requested. Sorry, it's going to be the Mayans, because the Bull Moose was requested yesterday. But then after those 3 games, then I'm going to do one more series with Gaul where I'm going to play a religious game with them. But then other than that, Chris, yes, there is a chance I'll put them on that list. So there you go. They're 5 series away. But between YouTube and Twitch, we knock through the games pretty quickly, regularly. So it shouldn't be too long of wait, probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'd imagine I'd be getting started on that one. But yeah, that sounds fun, because I don't honestly have a whole lot of experience with Hungary. I've only played, I think, 1 game with them. But they're a very interesting civ with a lot of flexibility as far as the win condition, whether you go for domination, science, they're also very good at. It's so fun to, do early wars, take advantage of your suzerain or levying, sorry, of your city-states, especially in Secret Society. If you go Isles of Minerva, oh my god, like that could just get crazy powerful and fast. Meanwhile here, it looks like they pretty much fought to a standstill. They have their respective lines going, but MGK is going to lose his warrior if he doesn't pull back in time. Meanwhile, Coupe is now pumping out some Toas, which you can see here are entering the fray as well. So that is going to be helping them out. And meanwhile, between his other cities, he's working on Immortals and Archers as far as Ben goes. Meanwhile, it's been a while since we poked our heads up here and took a look at Falcon. So let's go ahead and do that now. Ott says, what is the gray line in the middle of the screen? What gray line? Was there a certain... Oh, it's my... On what side is it? It's the green screen. Give me a second here. Un momento. I'm gonna have to play with this for a second. Well, the one in the middle of the screen is gone. I actually think that even made it a little bit worse. You know what? Oh, that didn't help. Sorry, everybody. There. Ah. There we go. Ugh. Thanks for the heads up about that, Bosch. So Tyler, beautiful name, by the way. I like it. It's a good one. In case you don't know, my name is Tyler. That's what that comment's about. But Tyler asks, what is my favorite Civ to play as? My personal favorite Civ to play as is actually the Mali. I love them. They're not the most powerful by any means, but they have, in my opinion anyway, the most unique gameplay style. Like they're unique. They're their own unique Civ. Like they have such an interesting play style that they're by far my favorite. Close second is now Ethiopia, and actually, I'm not entirely sure whether that's true anymore, because after playing Byzantium, especially in my game where I've been playing them offline and just uploading the recordings of it, I've just been having a blast. So I think my new favorite civs are like 1, 2, and 3. Mali is still king, but then followed closely by either Ethiopia or Byzantium, but I'm going to have to stew on that a little bit and figure out which one I prefer more. I think Byzantium might have taken the league just because they're so interesting and so like different and fun, whereas like Ethiopia is different and fun too, but they don't have as unique a gameplay mechanic. Like, I mean, settle on hills, build your tile improvement. It's not very unique, right? Whereas Byzantium, on the other hand, has so many different unique flavors to them. But yeah, thanks for that heads up. Des says free sim Russia. Yeah, Russia has a lot of area to expand here, so hopefully he's going to gobble it up soon. The quicker Falcon can power back up in this game, the better it's going to be. and the worse it's going to get for Teddy here and MLK. But again, we'll have to see, because like I said earlier, and I was referring to, Ledge also can just sim the shit out of all this territory here, right? And now Jack is splitting it with him too. He's got a settler down here. So as they gobble this up, like once shipbuilding and that kind of stuff becomes an issue, they can definitely freaking help out MLK. Not to mention they can get tunneling mountains, right? Or the mountain tunnels, and try to work a bit with that in order to impact things. So it definitely will be interesting to see how we pursue from here. So we knew about all of that fun stuff. So Temple of Artemis is gone, and Jack built the Oracle as well. I should have clicked on the Temple of Artemis, to be honest. I missed who actually built that. But yeah, Jack's got the Oracle there. He's got his unique building already. The stage, or the unique building, his unique, I've never seen it in 4K before, so this is pretty. Like, freaking, I love, like, you don't, until you're in 4K, you don't really appreciate how much it makes Civilization look that much better. Like, I don't know. I don't mean to freaking, like, oh, I'm on 4K, but really, I notice it, especially because I can only stream in 4K on YouTube. So we got homemade watermelon juice now. I wish he would rename Granada. That would make me feel a whole lot better. But yeah, I definitely think I don't think they're gonna pick Persia. Ooh, it looks like a nasty drought just hit Jack over here in watermelon juice maker, and the tiles that they split between the three of them. So he's got some work to do to repair those tiles once the drought passes. Meanwhile, he does have a niter square there that is still open at the moment, but it'll be interesting to see how far they go. All right, so as you can see here, there are Buttress is being worked on by 3 players at the moment. Rage is 2 turns away, Sam is 5 turns, and Ledge is only 1 turn away. And they are obviously heading towards cartography, and then after that, what's it that unlocks frigates? I always forget it. Let's take a look here. Square rigging. I always forget the name of it, but it looks like they're prioritizing beelining for square rigging so that they can get their more advanced naval units out as quickly as they can. Don't forget too that Gondastoria over here as Indonesia, who's clearly just doing her thing at the moment, and she's now found the Giant's Causeway as well, so it's not going to help her much unless she pops over some land units. But again, there's nothing that says they can't do that once they get cartography and can travel through the deep ocean tiles there. Oach says, laugh out loud, sorry for the work. No, I'm happy you brought that up, man. I'd much rather have it fixed than have a fucking big gray line tearing down the middle of the screen, so thank you. Don't worry about that at all. Adele says, what strategies would you use to ensure an early game golden age? It is fairly easy to do, to be completely honest. In fact, I have a whole video on it, Adele. I'll pop you a link in the channel, and I will talk about it quickly here while we keep covering the game. But just give me a second, because the video will do a better job than I'm going to be able to touch on it limitedly here in the chat. But yeah, here, Adele, this is the link. I have a whole video showing you how to get early game golden ages very quickly, but there's different things you can do. Obviously, you want to get 2 scouts out, helps you get that a lot better, because you can get more first meets for envoys, which means then you can use Amani to like send her and take suzerain ships for the 2 air score, and like just rotate her for anybody you have an envoy with. And then on top of that, getting the 2 scouts out, you also want to focus on the survey policy card for the 100% scout experience. Because the quicker you get them promoted, the faster they're going to travel through and explore, which is then going to earn you air score from meeting civilizations, from getting goodie huts, and from finding natural wonders. So that is the most easiest way to do it there. Not to mention planning good districts. Remember, if you get a +3 holy site, a +3 campus, Those are pretty much the only realistic ones in the ancient era, but those also give you +3 air score. And then other than that, there's other things you can do, like settling on a river that's floodable, settling on a desert, settling on tundra, settling on a new continent too. Like if you take a look at the continent split, so for instance, like with Ben and Persia over here started on this continent, if he had settled a city on this continent here, you would get 2 air score for settling your first city on a separate continent. So if you have a continent split, either a one way or more, it's all the more powerful because you can get a bunch of air score that way. Otherwise, another good thing is if you have a natural wonder close to you like this, if you settle within 2 tiles of it, so like within anywhere within their 2 rings from their wonder itself. In this case, it's only a 1 tile wonder, so it's harder. But like, say like with this one here, if these mountains weren't here, if you settle within 2 tiles in any direction of this, you would get +3 air score. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it off the top of my head. But like I said, that video I linked to you there should do a better job explaining than I just did. But yeah, Uch says on Secret Society mode, early Amani. Yeah, but even on standard gameplay without Secret Societies, early Amani is easy to earn air score as long as you get those scouts out early and get the first meet, so you have that one envoy. Or if you don't get the first meet but they have a really easy mission to do, you can get a lot of air score through Amani by just rotating her through the city-states very quickly. Meanwhile here, so tech-wise, as I alluded to, we got Sam and Rage headed straight for cartography. One has 3 turns, the other 8 respectively. Meanwhile, Lej is working on horseback riding. Iron working for Gondostoria. Apprenticeship for Jack, so his production is going to go through the roof here in the next turn. And machinery for MJK, so he is going to be looking to get crossbows up and upgrade all of these troops. I'm assuming that Lej, Gondostoria, and Jack are going to funnel him the money to do that upgrade. And then meanwhile, perfect timing, he's getting very close to making his way to the Mercenary Civic, which is going to give him the discount policy card that he can slot in to upgrade those crossbows for half the price, which would definitely be nice on his account. Meanwhile, on the other hand, we have PP Patrol with Sam and Rage going for cartography. Like I said, Falcon is 1 turn away from apprenticeship as well, which will go good. Meanwhile, we forgot, or well, meaning me, I forgot to take a look at the religion that Jack founded. So we got Thunderbolt of the North. Well, I don't know. This is my first time seeing Jack play, and I love his fucking creativity with the names of both his religion here and the cities where he's founded them. Meanwhile, he went with choral music, a very, very powerful choice. So shrines and temples provide culture equal to their intrinsic faith output. That is how he is going to get a huge boost in culture. He is already, I believe, like leading the pack by far. That's how he's at 51. Well, the next closest are both 34, respectively. 1 second. Ooh, sorry about that. But yeah, so that's how he's freaking having that crazy culture, because what it does is essentially it turns all of your holy sites into little mini theater squares. They don't generate you great people towards your culture win, but they do give you the crazy amount of culture, which is very effective for powering down the civics tree to get like better governments, better policy cards to slot in. So he is definitely being left to his own here, running away with things at the moment. He's got a stave church coming out in 1 turn there, 3 turns on a harbor in Granada, 14 turns away from a holy site in Namsos. I'm not sure why that's not showing as a stave church. It just must be a glitch in the spectator mod that we're using. Meanwhile, he just finished that lighthouse there, and a builder here, and 4 turn on a lighthouse there. He has another settler coming out here to take over this island, although this one would be a nicer choice, but I'm sure he'll get to that eventually, either that or Gondostoria. Meanwhile, he is working on his science game. I just said she because of the Indonesia, but he's working on his science game now. You can see that. And as far as governors go, he's got Moksha and Pingala respectively there. and that seems to be it so far. I don't know why. Like, I'm a little bit confused, so maybe somebody in chat can even figure this out. I'm a little bit confused why he's going for galleys. Like, so many galleys, when his unique unit is a ranged ship. Like, that puzzles me a little bit. So maybe somebody in chat has an idea who watches multiplayer more. Like, because it's not the galley, it's the quadrine that upgrades into their unique unit, unless that's changed with the mod. So maybe let's take a look at that. Coast and lake tiles provide minor adjacency bonuses for holy site, campus, and industrial zone and theater square districts. +1 amenity from entertainment for each lake tile. But then they have the Kong, but their Jong, yeah, it replaces the frigate. Like, that hasn't changed in the mod at all. So that's, like, I'm a little bit confused. And it's unlocked at mercenaries as well. So speaking of that, she's already at civil service. So he is going to have that very quickly. But yeah, not entirely sure about that. Zeke says, almost time to put him to bed, then I'll be focused on the stream. Oh, I missed. Oh, you went to pick up your son. It's almost time to put your son to bed. Okay, Zeke. Yeah, cool, man. Well, I'm glad you're hanging out with us as much as you are, Zeke. So Des says, do you ever plan on playing a CPL game, Gamer Grampz? Very good question, Des, and yes, I do, actually. For those of you who don't know, I don't have any multiplayer experience, basically. I've literally played 4 total games in my entire Civ 6 experience, which is over like 1,400 hours at this point. So it's basically the last frontier for me, essentially. Like, as far as I'm concerned, single player is, like, I'm only competing against myself at this point to win faster games and beat my own records and, like, to come up with interesting strategies and whatnot. So, that is definitely the next frontier. It's basically the last frontier, and I'm very excited to say that, like, I'm going to be, like, after I finish up a couple domination series that we have going, then I'm basically going to be focusing all my personal time on learning multiplayer. And this is going to be a perfect opportunity for me to observe the best of the best, because I think I mentioned it earlier, but in case you weren't here for that, this is going to be a regular thing going forward. I'm going to be regularly every week streaming at least one game of the Civ World Cup series, and we're heading into the playoffs, so the games next week should be even better than this one is going to hopefully turn out to be, or continue to be, because so far it's like, it seems pretty balanced. They're going for their different things. Everybody has a little bit of a different approach. Again, I'm really curious to see how Falcon's choice of the diplomatic favor of the pagoda is going to turn out. I'm assuming that he's going to try and control the World Congress pretty hard, because we can take a look at the score here and we can see how much they all have built up. So Jack has 51, 20 for Gondastoria, 31 for Lej, and 62 for MLK. Meanwhile, wow, I thought Falcon would have had way more. Oh, but I guess he's not suzerain of them. So let's take a look at Islam again. Yeah, why would he take the +1 diplomatic? Oh, he just hasn't got many of them out. Yeah, my bad. So he's just working his way up to pagodas. You can see a temple coming out there. So yeah, those will be coming next. I'm assuming in the cities where he's finishing his temples. I'm guessing he's going to be getting pagodas next, and then we'll see that really come into swing, which will be pretty good timing, because we are 7 turns away from the medieval era. So meanwhile, I need to see Astoria, I believe, or Esticos, sorry. So yeah, we're going to be coming up on the first World Congress session here in 7 turns, and so me and the other person who is casting this game, we have to vote to cancel each other out in anything that we can't just pick ourselves for, so to make sure that we don't impact this. But it'll be exciting to see what they choose to go for and how much pressure they can put on. Like clearly, clearly, oh my god, drawing a blank. Oh my god. Wow, talk about a brain fart. I'm literally gonna have to pull this up here, not even kidding. Ulysses, oh, see, I didn't have to pull it up. I didn't go that far. Team Ulysse has the commanding amount of diplomatic favor, so they should be able to force their agenda, but that won't last for long as Falcon, yeah, like I said, in his cities, he's going to be getting pagodas up very quickly as soon as they're done their temples. And that's going to become more and more powerful as we go along here, and he gets more cities up and running. So exploration plus melee ships for when the fighting starts. Coupe to the west. Yeah, it could be, because Coupe has a built up of his fleet and now has caravels, so maybe, yeah, he's upgrading to caravels already in order to prepare for Coupe. And I guess when you think of it, once these all turn into armadas, that there's not really that many. Let's also take a look at the military score. So Gondastoria is right on par with Rage, well, within a stone's throw away anyway. MJK's at 502. Ben is the closest at 400 over there. Sam's at 310. Falcon's at 75. He better hope and pray that that lasts for a little bit longer, but it looks like Lej is starting to move up, and soon these little scouts that he has defending himself won't last for much longer. So he's got a horseman coming up at the moment, but he's going to need a whole lot more than that if he wants to hold off the legions, if Lej really starts to push the matter and head up that way. Meanwhile, Lej is working on galleys himself, as well as some campuses here. And meanwhile, over here, lighthouses, crossbows, builders, and other fun stuff. Definitely don't think MLK, he's got another crossbow coming out in Charleston next turn, 2 turns away in Washington there, so I don't think he's going to have any problems repelling this army, personally. He's already got walls up in Auckland, as you can see there, and he's not working in them in any of the other cities because he has the concentration of his troops there, so it's kind of like a big investment of production to get at the moment, but they're banging heads here a little bit. We'll keep an eye as this goes. He's got 3 turns away from an encampment here. I would assume this is the encampment, yeah, so that will be in a nice position as well defensively with the river to protect from melee attacks. And yeah, there you can see now his crossbows came to the party. He's going to play, and you can see Ben pulling back with his immortals there. Meanwhile, let's head back to the text and take a look and see where Ben is at as far as getting his units upgraded as well. So he's a turn away from apprenticeship, getting close to civil service. So is Falcon, and he's going for military tactics, apprenticeship for Sam, and civil service as well. Meanwhile, Coupe is at education already, so he's probably going to be pumping out some universities and going to put that to good work. And then 2 turns away from recorded history, so he's headed down the bottom of the civic tree. And then MJK is 2 turns away from mercenaries, so we are about to see a whole lot of crossbows actions. I'm assuming that Lej, Gondastoria, and Jack are going to feed him a shit ton of money, and like we're going to like literally just see like popped all across the line here. And that's why he's hanging back in his territory, is because all these archers are going to be crossbows, and then shit's going to get real interesting because with Ben's lack of technology, like if we take a look in Ben's specific tech tree here, oh, he does have machinery, sorry, but because of the civics tree, I don't think he has mercenaries yet. Yeah, like he still has to get to mercenaries, so he can start working on it in right now in 3 turns, I guess. I'm assuming that's what he's just switched into. No, sorry, he's got to get civil service. Is that a requirement? Am I that out to lunch here? Oh yeah, you need civil service too. So after civil service, he'll be working on that next, but let's go back to the God mode and just keep an eye out here. As I said, that's going to get real interesting here in a minute when the crossbows come up, because it's still going to take a bit of time for Ben to catch up and upgrade his units, and those crossbows will just slice and dice through this, even with the great generals and such. Like, it's going to be interesting. Can we see the current era score? Yes, you can, of course. All right, so with that age coming up so soon, so again, we're 4 turns away at the moment. So Jack is sitting at 78, and he has earned himself a golden age. So Gondastoria is sitting at 52, so she's 5 away, or he, I keep saying she because of fucking Indonesia. He is 5 away from an era score, but he secured himself a normal age. Meanwhile, Ledge, on the other hand, is sitting at 46, so he's good to go with a normal age and is 2 away from a golden. MJK is at 37, so he's 2 away from a normal age at this point. Looks like a golden age is probably out of the question at this point. Meanwhile, we got Rage, who's sitting at 64, so he secured himself a normal age, but he needs to get to 72 to hit a golden, so looks like it's going to be a normal for Rage unless he pulls a miracle out of the hat. And meanwhile, 34 over here for Sam, and he needs to get to 43 to avoid a dark age, so Japan might actually be going into a dark age at this point. Falcon, on the other hand, is at 56, and he secured himself a normal age, but is 6 away from a golden. And then Ben, on the other hand, is at 51, so he secured a normal age, but is 9 away from a golden. So again, it looks like by far team... Oh my god, this is the second time now. Team Ulysse is not only kind of running away with this game at this point, but, and again, I'm not going to say the game's over by any means, because I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to multiplayer, but they definitely have the edge in yields. And but meanwhile, Coupe's science, oh, never mind, like Coupe, but Gondastoria is doing well too. Like, you can see they're really taking advantage of their golden ages. So like the fact that Gondastoria is going to lose out on that, but meanwhile Rage, oh yeah, they're both going to lose that huge science boost, because that's from their current dedication. So when we hit the medieval era, that is going to change unless Gondastoria can get those 5 era score we talked about. Oh, sorry. Good call. Dead setup. He's going to civil for the military alliance, which gives you +5 combat strength in any war that you're in. So that is definitely a good call. I didn't even think of that. So he'll be heading to mercenaries immediately after that, I would imagine then. Meanwhile, we just saw some great people went there. I actually missed out which ones they were, because I was reading the chat there and I didn't swing my head around in time. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So it was a great scientist, and it was Falcon who got the great scientist. So Arayabata, I'm gonna guess, I don't know, like I said, pronunciation's my kryptonite, but triggers Eureka moment for 3 random texts from the classical or medieval era. And then the great merchant Marcus, oh my fuck, never mind, that great merchant, he got that great merchant, Licinius Crassus, Marcus Licinius Crassus, I would assume, but again, kryptonite and all. Gain 30 gold, your nearest city annexes this tile into its territory, so kind of a shitty great merchant, to be honest, in my opinion, but I mean, I guess it gives you an extra tile, because I'm assuming by the way that's like worded that you could like do it, have like 3 tiles away from your city and then do it and still get a 4th one. But again, I'm sure there's better ones going forward. Meanwhile, we're only 3 turns out now, and you can see the crossbow transition here has already shifted, and he was already doing well with the military score. He's up to 596 now from, I think he was 500 the last time we talked it. So those crossbows are definitely going to give him an edge, which is why Persia is pulling back. Let's head back to the tech Path, this is my personal favorite. I don't know about anybody else. But I personally love just hanging out on the tech screen and being able to know what everybody's going for as far as techs and civics go. And again, if there's anything else, remember to at me and suggest that I look into something if you want me to take a look, because I know I'm kind of focusing on here quite a bit. So speaking of that, let's pop around here quickly and see what everybody else is up to. So Ledge with Rome here is working on some more galleys, got campuses coming, so he's really looking to improve his science game. Just finished another trader over there, so he's definitely going to be earning a decent income. Got a galley coming out down there. He's also expanded twice down here, which we haven't seen since the last time we took a peek. Meanwhile, Namsos has finally finished that stave church, and it's actually registering as a stave church instead of the holy site like it was the first time we looked, so that's good. He's got harbors coming up in his 2 new cities over there. Harbor coming up over here, an industrial zone in Ravenna. And so far that's it. He does have a settler over that he's coming over here to, I guess, help push the choke, and you can see that his legions have made their way. They replaced the scouts, which are now on their merry way. He has discovered Mohendero as well, and so his legions are now watching the front lines. You can see Falcon has brought in the horsemen that we saw him building up before, and a swordsman to join them as well. Working on a commercial hub there, theater square there, 3 turns left on the amphitheater in Novigrad. Just made a galley in Falcon. I'm assuming that was for era score. So let's take a look at Falcon's era score again here, and 67. Okay, so I guess he bought that a while ago, and I don't know why he doesn't delete it though, unless I'm mistaken. Because it's just costing him money essentially. But maybe for the combat strength, actually, like for the combat strength boost to his other cities. I'm not 100% sure about that, to be completely honest. Meanwhile, he's got 8 turns out on the Mahabodhi Temple, so he'll be upgrading his religion very shortly, I would imagine. I don't think he's going to try to spread it in a multiplayer game, but I again, very little multiplayer experience, so don't quote me on that, but that would be my guess, is that he's going to use the 2 apostles to evangelize his beliefs, like just one after the other. But yeah, so that is all that. Meanwhile, Jack is just freaking running away with the expanding here. We got Stave Church coming there. We got another holy site, which I'm sure will turn into a Stave Church. Well, we know it will, but I mean, I'm sure it will register as one pretty soon here. It's just the spectating mod we're using. Meanwhile, working on a Viking longship there. Good luck, have fun, has a granary coming, and Grandmaster's Chapel in Watermelon Juice Maker, so he's going to be able to purchase military units with faith in 3 turns. Speaking of that, let's take a look and see how much he's banked up. I'm assuming probably a decent amount. 212, so not a crazy amount, but again, the further we go along here, the bigger that's going to play a factor in, especially because the other part of the Grandmaster's Chapel is that you get bonus faith when you pillage as well, so that works hand in hand with his unique longships as well. Meanwhile, Builder coming out, and I don't think they're going to pick Persia. Hamar over here has a Stave Church coming out, another Viking longship in Granada, 4 turns away from a granary in Namsos, and another longship is coming out this following turn over there. Meanwhile, let's head and look over here at Japan, who's heading into a Dark Age, I think, still at this point. 34, and he needs to get to 43, so he's still 7 back with only 1 turn left, so he's fucked. Pretty comfortable saying that at this point. He's heading into a Dark Age. He's got 1 turn left on his Warlord's throne, 2 turns left on a quad, a Builder coming out in Tokyo. Meanwhile, he finds himself over here. He's got Kupe to defend him, and thank God for his sake he does. He's got a bunch of galleys that are all lined up and ready to go. However, especially as he gets to unlock his I always call them dongs. What are they, Kongs? Jongs. My bad, that wasn't an attempt at a crude joke. It just literally freaking, I always forget what they are because I've only played with Indonesia a few times. I've used them every time I do play with her, but because I don't play that often with her, it's not on the top of my mind. So her Yongs. Meanwhile, too, I just noticed that Indonesia has a Caravel fleet, so I'm assuming that it's not the technology because it's only the one fleet. I'm assuming that was from that Great Admiral we looked at earlier, and so they turned the Caravel into a fleet there in order to have an edge. Meanwhile, Japan does have a few Caravels of their own, as well as a Great Admiral up here. So again, naval-wise, this is looking like it's going to be a hotbed. I'm assuming that Jack is going to have some say in this as well and come play around with Indonesia very shortly. But yeah, so I think that is pretty... Jinx, enough. I'm going to have to, after this World Congress vote, take my dog out really quickly again, because I gave her a shitload of water when I came back in from her the last time. I know, Jinx, I know. I know. Life is tough, baby girl. I know. Okay, off. Jinx, off. Good girl. But yeah, so I'll be gone for a couple minutes at that point. What I'll do is probably pick apart like here and like zoom out and just leave it so that while I'm gone, you can watch the action continue. But I obviously have to wait for the whatchamacallit to thing. I want to see the gold per turn, etc. on the yield screen, Bren says. Sure, I'll pop over and show you that. So you can see that Falcon is earning -1 per turn. Coupe is rocking it with 116 as far as their team goes, and 85 for Sam, and then 9 for Ben respectively. Meanwhile, Jack is just laughing at 213 gold per turn, 159 for Liege, and then 35 and 3 respectively for MGK. But you can see here that MGK does have gold and he's spending it, so like clearly Jack and Jack and Liege are funneling their gold to him in order to bankroll this invasion that we're looking at. So again, it'll be interesting to see how this all plans out here, and this is before the thing. So we're gonna pop in here, so we can pick ourselves for this one, so this one doesn't count. So I have to vote differently, and I choose myself for this one. So I'm gonna just pop out, and we're gonna wait for Buddy to say which thing he's voting on. It's just me and the other spectator have to vote opposite to each other so that we don't impact the game. He votes A, I vote B. Alright. There we go. So we'll quickly... Actually, I'll go right now because I don't want her to piss on the floor. I'm sorry, I don't want to clean it up. But the voting is done. When I get back, we'll take a look and see how the Congress... It looks like there's going to be a break here. Hopefully I just didn't fuck up. It looks like they're taking a long break. All right, so the players are going to be taking a 5-minute break here. I clicked the blue globe. I clicked it earlier and it wouldn't pop up. Unless it's just like lagging a bit or something. But yeah, so they're taking a break, so I'm actually going to take a break as well. Run and quickly take my dog out. So far it's kind of been back and forth, but it looks like Team 1, Team Ulysses, is going to be pulling ahead here. But again, I'm not an expert. So we'll see how that goes when I get back, but I will be right back. So if you haven't already, please do me a favor and like the video. It really does go a long way towards helping a small channel like me grow. And in case you weren't here for it, I am going to be doing this at least once a week from here on out. So hopefully it'll go a bit smoother next time, as I just fucked up my first Congress vote. So praying to the good Lord that won't have too much of an impact. It shouldn't, because of how much diplomatic favor that Ulysses had compared to PT Patrol, but fingers crossed anyways. And again, for those of you who don't know, I do stream 3 times a week normally on Twitch, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 4 to 8 p.m. on all the days, except for when stuff like this happens, where I obviously am going to prioritize this event, and we're going to be doing it on my YouTube channel where my base of viewers normally is. And then other than that too, if you want to learn more about the game, we have a free Discord community. The link is in the description down below, where you can come hang out. We're very active, and there's channels for you can ask questions if you're a new player at the game. There's channels for people basically playing multiplayer games, setting it up for different time zones, all sorts of different fun stuff like that. But other than that, like I said, I will be right back. I'm going to take this dog out before she pisses all over the carpet. So I'll catch you on the flip side. All right, we are back in business here. The dog deuced. I went and had a potty break and got myself some more water too. Hopefully my voice isn't going to keep getting so raw here. So, hopefully I didn't completely fuck up the World Congress there. I don't think so, but definitely screwed that one up. Nelson said, I missed the kill on Hattusa. Definitely did. I clicked on it, but it didn't show me where. Hattusa was... Who grabbed it? Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I don't want to miss out on this. So let's check how the Japan situation is going. You can see too now that Gondastoria is coming over with military units as well, and they're pushing back with the Great Admiral and their fleet. They're pushing back over here. Ricardo says, time for a beer. I wish, man. I'm drinking water, and at this point, I'm jealous. Totally jealous. But cheers. Enjoy the beer, man. Yeah, I can't wait for the Saints game on Sunday, frickin'. I'll have plenty of time for my beers then. Alright, so let's check out that World Congress, shall we? Alright, so this player's borders will not grow via culture. Ouch! On Falcon. Ouch! And past, so city-states of this type do not provide their suzerain bonus scientific. However, Hattusa is dead, I think, so that doesn't matter. And then Jack got his 2 diplomatic victory points. It was southeast of Rome, next to the coast. Oh, they just raised it. Oh, okay. They just totally raised it. It was here? No, Valletta. Southeast. Ugh. Southeast. Yeah, I guess they didn't want to chance the fact that somebody would be able to take it over at some point and be able to enjoy the bonuses, so they just basically took it out of the game to get rid of it, I would imagine, would be my thinking, but not 100% sure on that. But yeah, there's a good reason why my Discord server is called the Short Bus. For those of you who aren't familiar with what we do over here, I try my best, but some days are worse than others. Alright, so meanwhile, there is a bunch of great generals going and a bunch of admirals as well. Let's take a look at that real quick. And so, great admirals are gone to Kupe and Japan now. And we got Uslid going to Japan as well. And then we missed this as well. Falcon got a great merchant here, and as well as a great artist, and clearly his great writers are going to start kicking in the more and more as we go along here. All right, back to the action. Where were we? To this giant cluster F. So here, MLK is or MJK rather, MLK, not Martin Luther King. MJK is holding his own so far, but I think he has a better chance of pressing this attack, but then again, maybe not. We'll have to see how it goes. But definitely has a strong defensive line with all those crossbows. Military-wise, Kupe's at 675. Gondastoria is at 1239 now, between his fleet and his military that he's slowly approaching with over here. Things are heating up, ladies and gentlemen. Des says, damn, Steelers got postponed. I thought they already got postponed. It was postponed. That's like old news, isn't it? Because the Titans played the Steelers, correct? Like that's the game that you're talking about, Des? Yeah, they mentioned that yesterday. All right, so Les just got a great admiral as well, Francis Drake, and Jack founded yet another city up here, starting to work right away on his holy site. He's got some long ships coming, well, a long ship coming up there with the group that he has already. Another stave church is 4 turns out there, 2 turns out over here. He's got the long ship coming out there. Hanging Gardens are about to complete. Ooh, it is pretty. It is very, very pretty. Oh, so pretty. So, yeah, that is that. And in case you're wondering, the reason he has mock shot established in that city is because in the multiplayer game, or in the multiplayer mod that we're using, they basically nerfed Pingala, where Pingala gives you science and mock shot gives you the culture. So that's why he has mock shot in there. Meanwhile, he's got 12 turns on a harbor, another long ship coming out there, another one down here, another harbor on the way, and clearly he's piling up his long ships, getting ready. Tech-wise, let's go take a look through that. So, Ledge is oh good lord, Ledge and Gandastoria are 1 turn away from square rigging each. That shit's about to get real messy. How much faith do they have? Because that's the one thing I don't think they can cycle is faith. You can see that Jack is definitely boosting his faith. So remember that he also went for the Grand Master Chapel, right? So he's going to be able to take advantage of all that faith that he's stockpiling. Meanwhile, though, Gondastoria, that was the one thing, I guess, like, he's producing the quads now, so he might actually switch out of, instead of like losing the production and getting square rigging, he might switch out of square rigging and pre-build some quadremes just to upgrade them to Jong's, rather, his unique unit. But I really think that him not going for that religion to get some sort of faith income was a little bit of an oversight. But I mean, like, he's dealing with it other ways, right? So yeah, it is what it is. And by all means, I'm the last person that should be criticizing anybody for their multiplayer gameplay. So I am just going to keep my mouth shut. Yeah, yesterday it went from Monday to be determined, and it's rescheduled till October 25th, so that's not too far away. How is that going to work, though? If it's rescheduled to... Was that their bye week originally, Kat? Then? Because... It must be their bye week or something, because how would they fit it in otherwise? Alright, so he's got Jongs. Alright, so did I miss something? Where did those Jongs come from?
It's gonna be legendary.
Gordon Orange, thank you for subscribing, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Looking forward to casting more and more of these in the future. Like, does Indonesia have something where she can promote anywhere? Naval units can be purchased with faith. Knew that. Religious units can pay no movement to embark. +2 faith to city centers that are adjacent to coast or lake tiles. Or I guess you don't have to be in your territory to promote, maybe. Am I just being crazy right now? No, you got to be in your territory to promote, but maybe naval units are different. What's Coupe's land military strength? Let us take a look at that. So his land is 9... Oop. That can't be right. I don't know how that's divvied up. Maybe that's the percentage or something? But yeah. I don't know. That can't be right, because 190 and 130, even if it was like by zeros, that doesn't make sense. So it's a visual bug. It always says 1, but it just finished. Okay, they have 8 movement, so it moves really fast. All right, so he must have like been promoted. Okay, yeah, that's what he's doing. He's promoting them here in Muscat, and then just sending them straight into Engage here. So that is how that transpired. Good call. Good call on that, Zan. That's definitely what he's doing, just promoting them here from this line and sending them right over. So, again, this battle here is going to basically, I think, make or break it, because MLK is definitely holding his own quite comfortably over here, and like still Jack hasn't even gotten involved at this point. That's the scary thing, right? Is that he's like literally just been sitting here simming up and expanding and preparing, and as soon as he takes a city, he can instantly start buying units with faith there in it with his Grandmaster Chapel ability as well. So yeah, time will tell how that goes. Let's go back to the action here and see. Does it show units? 618 strength, 19 units. Okay, that must be it. Yeah, sorry, Cotton. Good call on that. It must be. It must be 18 land units and 14 navy for a total of 607. But it doesn't. Yeah, so that would be what that is all about. Good call. As I said, the short bus. Anyway, so we'll see how this turns out here. I think, especially if Jack gets involved, like his ships are coming over, as you can see here, and they're funneling gold to Gondastoria, who is just completely going after all these Chongs. Like, this is going to get interesting real quick. Let's pop over and see if there's any real progress being made over here quickly. We got a shipyard coming up in Coupe's city, so Coupe again is being played by Rage. Meanwhile, though, the walls are still holding strong at the moment, for now anyway, and the crossbows and the immortals here I think should be more than enough to hold off those horsemen, but it's definitely not going to stop them from running in and pillaging, clearly. But yeah, all in all, I think this landlock is pretty much a standstill at this point, with the nice defensive line that MJK, fuck, that's the second time, MLK, that MJK has. He has enough where he'll survive, not to mention that he could, like, pop a city out over here if it really came down to that. But with how powerful Jack is here, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't see a way that PP comes back in this game, but again, I don't want to make bold predictions or anything because I don't have a whole lot of experience when it comes to multiplayer, so maybe there's something going on that I'm missing. But let's go back to the test field. Ooh, okay, so obviously they just sunk a ship of Rages over here with his Jongs. Meanwhile, Sam is 8 turns out from square rigging. Coupe is already hitting up industrialization over here. I want to check Coupe's science and see. He must have square rigging. Yeah, he does have the ability to make frigates. He just hasn't made any of them, essentially. But maybe he's going for ironclads, like industrialization into steam power, possibly. Would be... Maybe that's something that he's trying for, to turn his caravels into ironclads and, like, turn the tide here. But otherwise, let's take a look and poke around and see what he's got coming up. He's got harbors coming up left, right, and center. He has another fleet up here that does have a frigate, 2 frigates, as well as a caravel. So it looks like he's going to be taking Armagh, or trying to do what he can to take it, for that matter. They do have city walls and a catapult inside of the city, so... catapults are fairly good at taking down naval units, so whether that's successful or not, we'll have to see. Meanwhile, he's got another settler coming out there, a campus here, shipyard, 9 turns for both of those shipyards respectively, so that's going to be a nice production boost. That will come shortly, in a lighthouse down here in his southernmost city, plus with a builder floating around there. And then meanwhile, with a bunch of trade routes over here that are going to be vulnerable if this doesn't go very well for them. Not to mention the army that is also with them. That's the one disadvantage of if you don't control the land or the sea, the land can definitely become an issue because it won't take very much to come over here, because most of Coupe's units, other than the couple like the Warrior and the Toa that he has here, are over here on this continent, and even now he barely has any that are left throughout the battles with MJK over here. Again, so for those of you who don't know, I am starting to do this regularly. Once a week, we'll at least be doing this, possibly as much as 2 times a week or 3 times, but not likely because we're switching into the playoffs next week. However, there will be a 4th season. They're already scheduling it and planning it and doing all that fun organizing and all that stuff. And so as far as I know, I am welcome to be a part of that as well. And that would be starting sometime in January or February, most likely, although nothing is confirmed at this point. But yeah, look at those Jongs just coming up. How far away is, what I want to know is, how far away is Gondastoria from, we're going to take a look at their civics tree, how far away from nationalism? So still quite a ways away from nationalism. However, they do have quite a few of these boosted as well. So that will be interesting to see. Let's take a look at their yields now and see how everybody's doing. Jack's running at 140 science and 102 culture. Gondastoria is at 97 and 47. Liege is at 169 and 63. And MLK is at 31 and 33, but that's okay. He's holding his own, which is the important thing. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin here, PP Patrol's got Rage, by far leading their science game at 130 science and 57 culture and 138 gold per turn. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't talk about the gold over here. Jack and Liege are doing the heavy lifting as far as financing the Navy and land wars they have going on at the moment. So they're functioning very well based on where they spawned and what jobs that they're doing respectively. So that is interesting to see. And then so back to PP Patrol over here. Falcon has 60 science and a commanding 111 culture. So even notching off Jack the Ripper, but again, he is playing Russia and has been basically left to himself. So that would be that. But let's pop back to the God mode here and not leave it on that, now that I know just how far away from nationalism. I was just curious because I mean, like, it's the Jongs are strong enough to begin with, but then once you form them into fleets, that's gonna really impact the way things go here, right? Meanwhile, Tyler says, can you check to see how many turns until Auckland flips? Auckland was what, up on this coast? Auckland is going in 20 turns as of now. But again, there's things that he can play with, right? Exactly. He just founded Philadelphia right beside it to help with the loyalty problem there. Starting on a commercial hub there. He's got 9 turns on a campus here. So we'll see between Philadelphia growing and then Auckland growing as well. He should be able to hold on to it, I would venture. I'm pretty comfortable saying that, but not 100% positive. We'll have to see. And he can always retake it as well. Keep that in mind too. Meanwhile, you can only take 1 city-state, then you have to raise the rest, Gamer Grampz. Oh, okay. Per person. Okay, that's CPL rules, right? All right, good call, Des. Thanks for the heads up. Yeah, like I said, this is my first time casting them, and I've only watched a couple, but yeah, that's good to know why they burned that city down. So it wasn't that they feared it being taken. It was that Valletta already was taken by Lege, and Granada was grabbed by Jack the Ripper. So that is why they just burned it to the ground over there. And they didn't want to leave it in play in case it became suzerain of somebody else. So that clears that question up. Meanwhile, hey, Mountain says, hey, right back at you. How are you doing today, Mountains? Nelson says Hattusa was south of Persia, not next to Rome. Oh, okay, my bad. So Hattusa was down here. All right, well, rip Hattusa. It was fun while it lasted. Meanwhile, Mountain says, you're Canadian? Yeah, I'm definitely Canadian, man. You would have been great for an announcer for American sports. Thank you. I know. I have the face for radio, everybody tells me. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of NFL football too, if anybody didn't notice. So that's funny. But yeah, I'm honored to even be a part of this, to be completely honest. Hopefully I don't fuck up the next World Council. I'm gonna definitely take my time and slow down as far as that goes. Speaking of that, we have plenty, not that much time left. These turns fly by. I'm not used to online speed, right? So we got 12 turns minimum until we're done with the medieval era. So let's start taking a look at that as we focus here on the naval battle, because I don't know, personally I'm a lot more interested in this naval battle. If you want me to pop over to the land battle, just let me know in chat there and tag me. Ooh, Jesus. Ooh, baby. All right, so error score wise, let's take a look here. So starting with Jack, who is freaking commanding right now, we have him sitting at 102 already, and he has to get to 111 for a standard or 122 for a golden. And then, meanwhile, Gondastoria over here is at 73 and needs to get to 84 for their standard. And Lej is at 58 and needs to hit 79. MJK is at 43 and needs to hit 52 or above. Oh yeah, meanwhile, the dedications they chose. The Herald, like the reason Jack has such crazy high science is because he went with free inquiry. And then so did Gondastoria, and so did Lej. So that's why the science is so important. They're flipping in there so that they can get down the tech tree and keep command of the game like they seem to be doing so far. Meanwhile, MJK chose the Monumentality dedication bonus to try and get into a heroic age. Ooh. I'm going to actually turn my volume down a wee bit here because that was super loud on my headphones, so I'm assuming anybody else listening on headphones kind of feels similar. I'll tweak those both a little bit. Sorry about that. Yeah, so continuing on our path, though, on the other side of the equation, Rage is at 129. He is at 84 and needs to get to 100 for his standard age. And Sam is at 45 and needs to get to 48. So he's very close. Sam is very close to a normal age, and he only has to get to 59 for a golden. So he has a very good chance, in my opinion anyway, of flipping into a heroic age when we go here. And then Falcon is in a monumentality golden age at the moment and in a golden age and went with the monumentality thing in order to put his faith to good use and just spam out a bunch of cities. Meanwhile, let's take a poke about, because it's been a while since we've looked at anything other than that. Sorry, Des, I missed that. Can you check the culture victory screen to see the tourism? Sure can. Checking the world rankings here. Let's go look at culture. Tourism wise, there's 0 tourists in the game as of yet, so all quiet on the home front as far as the culture game goes. Clearly the science is the same thing. Diplomacy, though, we got oh my god, Ulysses is at 5 out of 20, and then PP Patrol is at 3 out of 20 on the other side of the coin. So that is how that is going. And policy cards, you want policy cards for everybody? Or just somebody specific? Let me know in chat. I know there's a bit of that delay there, but let me know. Oh, meanwhile, I just noticed that my green screen is acting up again behind me. Oh, that would be why. The dogs messed it up. Figures. Alright, I'm gonna actually take a quick few sips here because my throat is getting pretty bad right now. Ricardo says war is loud. Yeah, so I turned it down. Let me know if that is not enough, because again, there's that delay, right? So like, I just saw your comment now. I had already turned it down before I saw your comment. So let me know if we need to keep turning it down, and obviously we can adjust accordingly. Mountain says, I'm not even wearing headphones in my ears. Somehow felt that. And then Bren said, did the Congress situation turn out okay? Yeah, everything came out okay, Bren's. We're all good as far as that goes. So, and then this time around, I gotta make sure that I communicate better with Asticos over here, and make sure that I slow down, because I was like, literally, I'm so nervous doing this that I didn't want to slow down the game and like be a problem, and I just responded and acted too quickly, and actually could have potentially became a problem. So, like, knock on wood, thank God it didn't. But I'm gonna talk about it here. Alright, so meanwhile, Irene of Athens and Piero de Bardi have gone as well. Let's take a look at the great people. So we got Piero de Bardi is a great merchant from Ben. He got 100 gold and he gains an envoy. And meanwhile, the great merchant Irene of Athens goes to Falcon, who gets a governor title or and can recruit a new governor, obviously. Meanwhile, he grabbed another great writer. Hildegard went to, as a great scientist, went to Jack the Ripper, who clearly he was looking forward to, gains 50 faith, and the Holy Site District's faith adjacency bonus provides science as well, so that will be nice for him. And then he grabbed another great scientist, and so did Rome, and I think we knew about, oh no, we didn't know about that. A great musician to Russia, and Isidore went to Jack the Ripper. So I'm not sure if he's already used it. Did America irrelevant itself? What do you mean by that, Brenz? Can you check the Maori coal situation, Des asked? I sure can. Yield-wise, you're talking about? Yeah, because they are pretty headed high in tech, right? Yeah, he's 2 turns from steam power at the moment. And here we go. Army-wise, he's got 3 coming in at the moment. So when he hits steam power, he should be able to use that. Miguel says, I think Katarja will win. She has 2 great admirals, the longships that are coming. And yeah, Jack has 3 coals. Or Jack has 3 coals? Jack has 9 coming in at the moment. And Coupe only has 4. And then 2 and 1 respectively for Lej and Gandhi. And remember that they can cycle them between their teams as well, so that's something to keep in mind. Like, I'm sure, like, from your comments, Des, I know that you're up on the multiplayer scene, so you're aware of that. But again, I'm just saying it for the people who aren't. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to quickly disappear my face here, and I'm going to have a smoke. And like I said, I don't promote smoking. I think it's horrible, and it's probably the biggest regret of my life. I had quit for 2.5 years, but recently fucked it up, and I have been vaping instead, like to wean my way off it, but I wasn't able to get to the vape store, unfortunately, before this started, so I'll be going there later before tomorrow. It's a game with Norm later. Meanwhile, yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. I'll get rid of my face here. I wonder how far in text is Jack. Oh, Jack is 1 turn away from steam power too. And you gotta think, Jack can upgrade his longships in his allies' territory. So, oh my god, this is gonna be a nasty surprise. Because all these longships, I think they're gonna be freaking I think, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure he's going to convert them to ironclads, and it's about to get real. Well, not all of them, but as many of them as he can, and they're going to make short work of the fleet that. Yeah, there you go. He's starting to work on it now. He's going to open up with two. You can see. Look at the communication there. Look at how awesome that is to see it happen live. So literally, they're talking, and he buys this tile just so that Jack can have 3 more, like another location to upgrade a second unit. Like that, to me, is fucking cool, man. Like, right cool. Like, I feel privileged to be watching this right now. I hope you all are enjoying it as much as I am. But yeah, this is gonna be real nasty, real quick. So just when Rage and Sam are like, all right, okay, they're pulling back, we got our ironclads, I think we're good. Little do they know, the real frickin' the real fleet is gonna head in here. Oh my god, this should be fun to watch how it all happens. Cotton says some lowdown on the Teddy situation, please. How's he doing for the meat shield? Last time we checked, he was doing good. You can see his troops are thinning out now as Ben pushes forward here with his. Clearly, it's going to be pretty nasty because Russia is over here to the north as well. So far, he has the chokes taken care of, but I mean, that's only a matter of time, quite possibly. However, he does have knights coming. You can see here in New York, Washington, and Charleston, he has knights coming out within the next 3 turns. 1, 2, and 3, actually. Auckland also has a knight coming out over here. So, I think between the encampments, his cities, I'm assuming he might grab a wall or 2 at this point now, but we'll have to see. But either way, I think he will definitely be able to hang on at least enough to keep them occupied. Whereas if this Navy battle goes as bad as I think it's about to, we will have to see, because they might end up, like, if they get rolled on from this way, they might end up conceding. But again, I don't know how all this works. So we'll have to kind of just pay attention and watch and find out. Cotton says, how far out from the Cossacks? Let's take a look. So he's 3 turns from nationalism. And tech-wise, I don't know why it's not showing his tech tree. It's showing my tech tree. Did I not click on him? Oh, here we go. Where does he get Cossacks? I don't play Russia very often. I don't have it memorized. I thought it was in the civic tree, but I could be completely wrong, but I don't see it. But it might not just be, it just might not be showing up because I'm technically not him. Like, it might be the mod. I'm not 100% sure. Cavalry? Oh, okay, yeah, so it's just not showing then. Yeah, it's just not showing because of the mod. So, yeah, he's getting close, but he's got 4 turns there, 3 turns, so 7 and 5, so 12 turns out, it looks like, before the Cossacks come into play. Let's pop back to the God mode screen here. Carly says, I'm curious to see how body shielding with galls will work out. The adjacent bonus would be huge in these huge horde lockups. Yeah, Carrie, not Carly. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, that would definitely be interesting to see, too. Meanwhile, Kot says, Rome's probably got to alleviate some pressure by engaging Russia and delaying that Cossack timing, probably. Let's take a look at that front while we're at it, and you can see here that Falcon is prepared, and I don't think Rome is going to be alleviating much of anything. However, he does have musketmen, like his legion's upgraded into musketmen, and he's got some pike and shot there, but I don't think he's going to be in any position, at least at this point, to interrupt the Cossack timing. Not from like my estimation, but again, like I'm very, very limited in multiplayer experience. So we got 6 turns until the next era. Hey, wait, what happened? Oh, they're just configuring the game. Okay. They were just reconfiguring the game. I don't know if somebody... Oh, Asiko's disconnected. Okay. So the other spectator has disconnected. So I don't know. I guess we're just continuing on, or are we just finishing this turn? I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'll have to pay attention here. Well, I won't ask. We'll just obviously have to just wait and see. But yeah, so now Gondastoria has ironclads as well. And yeah, so they thought they were pressing ahead and things were going well. And then they found out not so nicely. And Jack just settled a new city too. Yeah, it's just a spectator, so he's back in the game now as well. So I guess you guys are right, they just continue on playing because of the spectator. It's not the end of the world. Good to see that he popped back in the game here, so he wasn't gone for too long. And meanwhile, I can actually get my face back on here. There we go. Alright, so things are heating up in the naval battle. So, Jack is only 4 turns out from nationalism. And meanwhile, Gondastoria, let's take a quick pop in and look at his tech tree. He's still got a ways to go. He's working on humanism and still has to get the Enlightenment and mercantilism and work his way there. So, a little bit farther behind. However, it is what it is. This should get, like, I think even with their lines and everything, that with the great admirals, the Jongs, and now the ironclads back up from Jack, yeah. So they did manage to kill that ironclad, I believe. But again, looking at the score here, if we look to the army, Coupe has 15 units left, Sam's got 13, compared to 27 and 22 respectively from Jack and Gondastoria. Oh, fuck off. I truly hope this is just the Civ crashing and not that power issue again. I don't think so, because my second monitor is still working just fine. And of course, as soon as I say that, my TV goes. Oh no, it just flashed. It's all good. This is just with Civ. We should be fine here. We'll get back in the game in just a second. There we go. Not a huge deal. It is just the not. Oh, I just saw too that my green screen is screwed up. Oh, the dog knocked my green screen. So I'll fix that while we're loading back in here. Yeah, Nelson, there's a little bit of a delay. I got it now. I just noticed that my dog knocked over the framework that like holds up the green screen. My dog pushed it over, so when one tipped over, it caused the other one to tip over, and that's what that was about. But under control. Now your challenge is to maintain the delicate balance. Ooh, hold on here. I definitely missed something here. So Tyler says Gamer Grampz is a huge navy slipping below Persia, Rome, and Jack sending a ton at Maori, I assume. Let us definitely check and take a look here. So, ooh, yeah. Nice call. I totally missed that. Ooh, definitely missed that. So, Lej is starting to meet Rage over here in the south as well, but Rage doesn't know that he's got a bunch of backup coming up. It's totally desynced. They want to re-lobby, so let's go ahead and do that. Falcon says next turn. So I'll follow their lead. But yeah, good call, Tyler. I'm assuming you're watching one of their perspectives, have their streams up. But thanks for the heads up. Yeah, so... yeah. Between the two situations, no moves, re-lobby, MJK says. Can Persia see the caravels? I can't. I don't think I can pop into their viewpoint right now. The other guy was saying. Yeah, maybe he sees that one caravan from Jack, so maybe he has an idea with his scout. Yeah. So, anyways, we gotta get out of here. But yeah, so I think that scout saw that one caravel over there, so I think they have an idea. Meanwhile, I gotta try and figure this out here, so just give me 1 second. Ah, okay. Well, we're going to be right back. We're not going to be right back. We're going back into here. But they have conceded. Des said CC incoming, and they conceded the game. So good game, everybody. In the other game, they CC turn 36. All right, yeah, that was a great game by, like, I'm blown away. Like, I can't wait to go back and like watch and see just exactly how specifically like the earlier build orders. I wish I would have focused more on it. Like, that's the one unfortunate thing, I guess, about like having to jump around and whatnot, that you can't really like sit there and focus and like really learn to see just But yeah, that was definitely for me at least. I'm super excited. That was a freaking great introduction to, as far as I'm concerned anyways, to this the Civ World Cup. And yeah, like, just hands down, freaking I had a great time. And wait, I don't have another window open. But yeah, freaking, I hope everybody enjoyed the game. So Young Blood says, wait, what happened? Yeah, they conceded the game. Like, so Team Ulysse, so that's the French team again. Everybody on that team is from France, other than Jack the Ripper, who was playing Norway in that game. The Pt.2 was the other team with like Coupe and all that. They conceded this. Relic says, this is a clip of a turn 37 culture win? What? I'm confused. What do you mean Relic is back? This is a clip of a turn 37 culture win? Oh, the other game was a culture win. Oh, okay, my bad. Sorry, I'm following you now. I missed your comment from above there because I didn't get tagged in it. Okay, so the other game, there was another game that a turn 37 culture win? How the fuck did that happen? Like, again, I'm new to this whole multiplayer scene, so I'm not exactly sure like the ins and outs, but a turn 37, like, even on online speed, to me that seems crazy. Or hold on, did you post the link, Relic? Like, I think I have links blocked in the chat. I'm not 100% sure. But I want to see the epic naval battle play out. Kat says, yeah, I was really getting juiced up myself there. Give it a look. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I definitely will go check it out. So in case you don't know, there was another game that started an hour after ours started that we were watching here. And in case you don't know, again, all the links for like the Civ World Cup and all that shit is in the bottom, but I'll show you here. Like, they have their YouTube site is kind of like, they're just getting started here on YouTube, so I would definitely head over and subscribe there to show them some love, help them get over 1,000 subscribers. That would definitely be a good call. But anyways, all of the VODs from the various games that they have do end up on the YouTube channel here. Like, they pull them from whoever is streaming them on Twitch and doing all that different stuff. And you can see here too, they have casts in English or French. I think there's a Russian caster that is, yeah, they have them organized here: English casts, French casts, Russian casts too, so you can see there and go ahead and check. Otherwise, like, for me, all the games I cast will be on my channel as well, but they will also end up here. I don't know if there'll be direct links to here or not. Hey, Diego, thanks for subscribing, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. But yeah, I would have loved to see that frickin' epic naval battle play out. But I mean, it was gonna get real sloppy real quick, I think. Hey, thanks for subscribing, Relic. I'm glad you're enjoying it here. Like I said, this is the first one I've ever done. So again, constructive criticism to me, I'm more than happy to hear it, especially if you're not seeing this live and you are watching it afterwards. Feel free to leave me comments down below and give me suggestions for how I can improve on my casting and shit for next time. As I'm competitive, like, I like to win and be good at things that I do, so I definitely want to be as good as I can, not only just for like my own personal freaking competitiveness and the way I'm built that way, but then also just because I want to give you a better viewing experience, right? But yeah, Relic, I'll definitely be watching that. Like, turn 37. Who, if you don't mind, who was the, who, like, not the teams, I don't mean that, but who were the civs? Like, 37? I'm assuming it had to be Magnificent Catherine. That's an assumption, though, but, like, I don't see how it would happen on turn 37 any other way other than Magnificent Catherine. Des said, this is unprecedented. And how does one practice to get into this chop style of play? What do you mean by the chop style? Oh, cup style of play. Oh, sorry. I'm not 100% sure, like, on the exact specifics, but I can show you. There's oh, where is it? It's in there. So they have a Discord server. I don't know if I can actually send links. Good to know that everybody we were who we were all impressed with Indonesia, it was the person that's been helping us all along. Here, we're getting an inside look. You guys, like, my face is going to block some of it, so I'll get rid of me here. But... So he says my builder was quite aggressive on galleys, and I said I'm great at single player, but just starting to dip my toes into the whole multiplayer scene. That's why I want to go study their personal views so I can actually like dive into the tactics and see what kind of builds they did and like learn the fine tunings of it, because I love to like analyze and study stuff. So I'm looking forward to doing that personally once I'm off here. But yeah, he said he concentrated on the galley since Japan was on the left, and then Muscat was important to take. And I just said I was just surprised because I thought you'd have gone for more quads for your jongs, but you got enough in the end. But anyway, great fucking game. But yeah, anyways, I will get back to it here, and we're gonna wrap things up here. But okay, yeah, I assumed as much. Des says I sent the link. I sent the link to the CV on Discord. Okay, cool. Let's actually take a look at that right now. Here we go. All right, so let's pull this up. I'm going to mute my music, and I'm sure Michael won't have a problem with me pulling this up, so let's go ahead and do that. Oh wait, what?
And I'm sad. Why don't I see the tourism per turn? So he's on 20 tourism per turn, probably from the religion and the relic. And then we have a 2 out of 6. 2 out of 6
Yeah,
tourists already. This is turn 36 out
because
of
with
250.
her
Well, it should
like
be
this
out
is
of
how I
250.
won on
But
single
you can
player
see
on
how
turn
fast he's going
108
for it.
on a standard
Is
game with
this
no
gonna be
secret
an extremely
societies.
fast? Is this gonna be a win before
Yeah,
turn 50?
it's freaking yeah,
One skill only. I mean, what is this?
and it was just bad luck.
That's it.
That's it. That's game over. Thanks for sending that, man. That was good to see. Freaking but yeah, anyways, everybody, thank you for popping in. Oh yeah, and nah, Michael's the man. Yeah, Michael's good shit. But though the court festivals are just crazy, like that's how like I won, like I said, 108 turns for me on DD on a standard size map with 7 other AIs and then myself, and I won at turn 108, and I screwed up a little bit. I probably could have got it under 100, and that's just me. Like I've seen games where the Chinese players that I study, which the story for another day, but they ended up freaking getting like I think it was 78 or no 79 victory, and then one of them got like an 83 or an 88 victory or something like that with her. But yeah, it's definitely a very interesting play style, and I think part of it was the map though, that like she was by herself, because she would have got rolled on doing that if she didn't have the territory to be able to do it. But that is freaking pretty crazy. Oh yeah, so Carrie, to get back to your question about how does one get into this cup style, there's different tournaments. That's why I was going into Discord and I got distracted, so my bad. Hold on, let's quickly see. They was missing a lot of gold and couldn't run long with fight and producing boat. But yeah, so let's pop over to the Civ World Cup. I'll see. I think I can send an invite, or maybe I can't. Yeah, I don't think I can. I don't have permission to. I don't think. But if you go to their site, like I said, all that information is in the description down below. If you go to the site, it is there for you and you can find it. But the different teams, I can show you because I'm in here, I guess. So if we look, where is it? I was looking through here. I think it's under useful resources, up near the top here. You can see all the team logos there, but I think it says in here how they all qualify. But they're basically, there's different tournaments and stuff like that. But yeah, if you check around and poke around in here, you can see here's their useful links. These are all in the comments down below, like, or sorry, in the description rather. I apologize. But yeah, freaking. But yeah, anyways, like I said, this has gone on long enough. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please do me a favor and like the stream. Subscribe to the channel too if you can put up with my dumb ass. Like I said, most of my channel is all about, and now it is time for the shameless plugs, I'm sorry. But most of my channel here is all about helping players get better. As I said, I'm really new at multiplayer. However, I am good at single player, and as you can see, it's all about helping gamers get better. So there's tons of shit on here for quick and easy Civ 6 tips, Civilization 6 basics, Civilization 6 strategies, so those are the foundations, and now I'm starting to put more content out for intermediate and advanced players, as well as those of you who are on DD as well, and that's where my attention is basically shifting to for the time being. However, on a personal level in my gameplay, I'm actually now transitioning to where I'm going to start learning multiplayer. That's why I'm so floored and humbled to actually have been given this opportunity, and I can't wait to see more of this action. And now I definitely can't wait to go look at frickin' Gondostoria's personal view of that game and study his frickin' his build order, and do the same thing for Jack the Ripper and analyze everything. I love doing that, and then take it under my own thing and see if I can replicate some of that, and then doing that helps me really learn things quickly. And so I'm looking forward to starting to play multiplayer myself. So speaking of that, I think I missed a comment from Dez. So Dez says, 12 culture, if you ever want to play a game and pick my brain, I'm not great, but I have watched Rage, Jack, Under, and Michael a large amount and let you know the thought process. The different communities hosted qualifiers. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so Des says the different communities hosted qualifiers, and the teams had to beat out the other teams in the servers to advance up to the cup. Yeah, so there was a group stage, or sorry, before the group stage that we're in now, there was head-to-head battles where they had to basically fight. It's sort of like if you watch StarCraft, the GSL League, if you're familiar with the Koreans thing, GSL, where the televised part, quote unquote televised, is just the round of the 24 best players, but there's a bunch of competitions before that where players have to rank to get into that first 24. So it's a similar process here with all these teams. And yeah, Zeke said, I fell asleep. What's poppin'? Is it already over? Yeah, Zeke, unfortunately, the game was conceded, and it was great action while it lasted, but unfortunately, the PP Patrol saw the writing on the wall and decided to concede the game rather than just battle it out and basically invest a whole lot of time for a match that they knew wasn't gonna end up turning in their favor. But definitely worth a watch. I would highly suggest you go back and take a look at it. I myself, like I said, I'm going to be going to those individual view points for sure. I can't wait to do that myself. But yeah, Des, sounds good. I'll hit you up on Discord, man. We'll talk about that off screen and all that. But yeah, so going forward, like I said, I'll be doing at least one of these games a week now. And now that I've kind of broken the ice a little bit, I'm a lot more comfortable, because I was actually really nervous and excited about this because of the opportunity. And I just can't wait to be doing this, continuing on, especially because season 4 is going to be coming up in January or February sometime. Once they have that all planned and organized, I will be involved with that from the get-go. So I'm looking forward to that. And the playoffs start next week too. So the best of the best are going to be going head-to-head next week, and I will hopefully be involved in one of those as well. Well, not hopefully, I will be one of the English casters between me and Michael. And yeah, so keep an eye out. I will have it updated as quickly as I can here. Other than that, tomorrow, if you do like multiplayer action, tomorrow I don't have a link to show you right now, because when I found out about this game, I thought I was going to be casting tomorrow for the Civ World Cup series, and then I had to take today's because I was given it, so I am obviously not going to argue the point. And so I had to get the thumbnail, and I'll have the stream set up here shortly. But we have a new creator multiplayer community thing where I reached out to, I don't know if you know Normulator, Peppermint Butler, 100 Games in 100 Days, Bostius, and then also Van Bradley from Twitch. They all stream on Twitch. So I reached out to 5 other creators, and we are going to, starting this week, so starting tomorrow, every Saturday from here for the next 5 to 10 weeks, we're going to be playing a 4 versus 4 multiplayer game where all of the creators, so all 6 of us, have gone and gotten 4 players from our teams, the best 4 players we could get our hands on, and they're going to be representing us. And so every week we're going to be having the 4 players from each creator's team. So like tomorrow is me against Normulator's team, and we'll be doing it live. He'll be streaming it on Twitch. I'll be streaming it here on YouTube, but we're going to be co-casting it while our teams duke it out for our entertainment and shits and giggles. So starting that, and then so that'll be happening for at least 4 hours, starting at 1 p.m. Standard or Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. However, or Eastern Daylight Time, I guess it would be now. But yeah, anyway. So however, with that, then we have a thing that after 4 hours, the players can take a vote where they can either concede or they can vote to continue scrapping it out like right then that day, here and now, or they can also vote to finish the game the following Saturday. So this can take place in the next 5 weeks if all the games go fairly quick and are over in one shot. Otherwise, it'll be spaced out between the next 5 or 10 weeks on the channel. But I'm really excited about that and looking forward to doing it. So I'm co-hosting with Normulator first tomorrow, and then once either our team game wraps up in the next 1 or 2 weeks, then the next up is Peppermint Butler, and him and I are going to be co-casting. And then following that, it goes 100 games in 100 days, and then Bostius, and then finally Van Bradley will be wrapping up the head-to-head. But I will be playing with them all as I went and organized it and did the groundwork kind of thing and got everybody involved. So that is something to look forward to. But yeah, anyways, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you did enjoy it. And yeah, look forward to the next time. So like I said, that is going to be happening tomorrow. There will be a link up on the channel here, like a scheduled stream pretty quickly here. I just have to go get a bunch of thumbnails, or sorry, I have to get a bunch of screenshots of the leaders and make the thumbnail for it. So in the next hour or two, that should be up. And like I said, we'll be kicking off live tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time. But yeah, I think that's everything. Thanks again, and have yourselves a great day.